Namaskar, Aditya here. Today I'm going to answer 10 most common questions every new immigrant has when it comes to buying a house in Canada. For example, do I have to buy or rent? How much down payment do I need? Do I need a permanent residency? Those kind of things. While having my Indian ginger chai. Question number one, the most common question I've been asked. You know what? Would you recommend buying a house or renting the house? I have a really solid biased answer. I personally strongly recommend buy a house because when you're renting a house, you're literally taking money from your pocket and throwing out of window because that rent, you're not getting it back ever. It's just gone forever. Whereas when you're buying a house, now the biggest advantages come into place. Now, first of all, you have a physical asset, a home that you own, it's on your name. And on top of that, you're paying down mortgage every month. So which means you're building equity, you're building money under your home. So that of course you cannot pull it right away, but the money is been built, like you're just like saving money on your house. So every month you're putting $500 or $1,000 on the house that goes towards your equity will be saved. And second benefit is on an average every 5 to 10 years the properties appreciate over the time. For example, the house that I'm living in, I got this for $300,000 1.5 years ago, and right now my house value is over $400,000. So I have that $100,000 appreciation. If I would not purchase this house, if I just rented the house, pretty much I'm just paying the rent and the rent is gone nowhere. Of course, you need money to buy the house. That's another thing. If you don't have money to buy a house, see if you can find creative ways. But if you couldn't find any way, of course rent it, because for rent you don't need money for as a down payment. You don't need money for closing cost, all those. There is no upfront cost to live. So of course it's good to rent initially, but always aim to buy a house. Second question, do I need permanent residency to buy a house, or can I just buy it with a work permit? So here's the thing. I got my first property when I'm working, when I'm on work status. I'm not saying that everyone on work status will qualify, but I know that most of them do qualify if you have a job for more than a month or more than a year or so. So just make sure you consult a mortgage agent, see if you would qualify to get a mortgage. Question number 3, how much down payment do I need to buy a house? So in Canada, we have a first-time homebuyer program. Through that program, you can buy a house for as less as possible, which is like literally for 5% down. Which means if you are looking at buying a house that is priced at $500,000, all you need is $25,000 from your pocket, and the rest you can get a mortgage from a bank like CIBC, Scotia, RBC, or anyone. There are many lenders out there who are willing to help first-time home buyers. Which leads to question number 4, which is when you're paying 5% down, you will be having an additional CMHC insurance or Genworth insurance. So you will have insurance on your mortgage. Insurance not for your house, it's insurance for the mortgage. So the question is, do I have that insurance by paying 5% down, or why don't I pay 20% down where you don't need CMHC? So here's my answer. I know most of them don't like my answer, but I will give it anyways. So when you're buying a house, you're leveraging your money. What I mean by that, you're putting 5% down, which is in my previous example, $25,000, and buying a $500,000 property, and over the period your mortgage is paying down by your monthly payments. So you leverage your $5,000 indirectly that's your investment to buy a product, and that product will be paid over time, and the house is yours by once you done paying the mortgage. So all of a sudden you have 500,000, but you made that 500,000 only with 25,000 down. Whereas when you pay 20% down, which means you're buying the same house for 100,000. So now your rate of return is way low compared to 5%. But again, it has the downsides where you are paying a little bit extra, like probably $20 or $30 extra for CMHC insurance. Again, I personally don't mind paying that because I know how to leverage my money, by investing that money and buying some rental properties. If you're curious about rental properties, I have other videos, check out those. But again, that's my opinion. I know if you don't like to have too much debt on your name, if you want to reduce your mortgage, then go for 20% down. There is no obligations. It really depends on your financial situation. Point number 5, very common question that you will be asked if you start looking to working with an agent, which is what type of property do you want to buy? Condo or semi-detached or detached or townhome? All these options are available out there for you. Of course, in my opinion, every type has pros and cons. So it really depends on your financial situation, but I'll try to make another video because that will take more than 10 minutes to talk about pros and cons of every type. So stay tuned for another video on that topic. And point number 6, do I buy a resale home or a new construction? So I'm glad you asked because most of the houses I purchased are resale homes. Resale homes, the biggest advantage is you can move in within 60 days. As soon as you make an offer, you have a property on contract, you can move in because it's already built, it's already there. When it comes to new construction, of course, you have to, again, some new constructions might be already ready to move in, and some of them probably you might have to wait for 1 year or 2 years. So it really depends on your financial situation, right? If you can afford a new construction, of course, new construction, now you have, the house is coming with a warranty, like a Tarian warranty. That's in Canada, every new built home by a builder, professional builder, should must have that warranty given to the customer. So what does that mean? Basically, you can have a peace of mind by saying that, if there is something comes up, probably that Tarian warranty will cover the wear and tear issues in the first year, I believe first year and second year. Don't quote on me on that. I'm pretty sure at least 1 year. And then major structural things for 7 years. So, and on top of that, you will not have any major expenses furnace breakdown or roof, because most of the things will start breaking down after 15 years. So that means once you buy a new home, you are worry free for next 15 years. Whereas resale home, again, it really depends on if the property is, when it was updated. If it's recently updated, everything was updated, then awesome. But generally, resale home values are way, comparatively cheaper than new construction homes. So at the end, it's more your personal preference. If you love to live in a new home, you have time and you have money to put in, then go for a new home. And point number 7, what's the step-by-step process to buy my first home? Because there are so many things involved in the process, right? So I know, again, this is another full content video, but I already made. I'll have a link somewhere here, a full step-by-step details in order for you to go buy a home. Question number 8, where is the best location to buy? I know this is such a interesting question because every location has different prices, and in real estate, the location does matter. But I'm going to give you a really common sense answer. Trust me. First of all, where are you living? Where do you like to see yourself living for long run, right? If you're living in Toronto, if you want to buy a house in Windsor to live, then it doesn't make sense, right? You're working in Toronto, you love to live in Toronto, but why do you want to buy a house in Windsor, which is 4 hours away from? So of course, buy in the area where you're living. Even in those areas, there will be different type of neighborhoods. So here's a simple thing that I learned from beginning days of my investing. Always go for the best location, even if the property needs some work. Go for the best locations, because when you're in the best locations, of course you will be having best schools and best environment for your kids, but at the same time it's also best for your money, because in the best neighborhoods always the appreciation is way more comparative to average neighborhoods or below average neighborhoods. So if you have to compromise on the features of the house, I would strongly recommend don't compromise on the location. It's okay to compromise on little features in the house, because which you can add by yourself, or you can hire a contractor once you purchase the house, but you cannot move the whole house and put it into different neighborhood, right? So always look for a neighborhood that is either established, or that particular neighborhood is up and coming. Always ask these questions to your realtor, whoever you're working with. Hey, what's the up and coming best neighborhood in this area, or what's the best neighborhood already established, and then choose from there on. And question number 9, what's the best time to buy a home? Is it in winter, summer? Okay, I'm glad you asked, because in winter the supply is low, and at the same time people also number of people looking at the houses also low. And in summer generally the supply is more. There will be more number of houses coming to the market, because summer is the a holidays for kids, so it's easy to move, and the schools generally starts once the summer ends, so the new grade or the semester whatever starts after summer, so moving is a lot easier. So that's the time when there are a lot of people selling, and at the same time there will be a lot of people buying. So I know I put you in a tricky situation where both the times is pretty similar, because there is low supply and low demand, high supply and high demand. So here's my point: for buying a house, never wait. It's my strong recommendation, especially if it's your first home. Look for, make your list of things that you like to feel like a home, all those things, and then find the property that fits your needs. If you find a property, go buy it. Don't wait for timing. Even my favorite investor, all-time investor, he says that it's hard to time the market, Warren Buffett. So I would say the same thing to you guys. Forget about timing. Just make sure you have your criteria list. Make sure you go hunt for that particular property. Another last and final common question is, how long do I have to wait to buy a house? I know I covered about PR, but this is a really more common question is, oh, I have a PR, I came to Canada, now I got a job, I want to buy a house. Yes, absolutely you can buy a house once you have a PR, once you have a job. But the thing is, just make sure you have a stable income. Just make sure, if you haven't settled down, first get to know the location. Don't rush too much, but at the same time, don't wait on making the decision. It's not scary. I know it's scary when you're looking for the first time, but once you purchase it, it's just now you feel like, oh, that's it. I already have a home now. So it just happens. So my suggestion is, yes, wait for a few months and make sure you understand few things in the country, because you're totally new. But once you knew the stuff and once you qualify for the mortgage, then go start hunting for the property and become a homeowner, because that's the best feeling in the world, to have a own home on your name. So these are all the common questions that I came up with by looking online, and also my personal questions I had when I was looking for. But if I haven't covered something, let me know in the comments below. If you have more questions regarding buying a house or investment property, anything, let me know in the comments below. I'll do my best to cover those questions and help you to become a homeowner, help you to buy more investment properties, to build a wealth and a bright financial freedom for yourself. So with that, thank you so much for taking time to go through all these things. And I'm pretty sure if you watch till here, that means you're gonna become a homeowner pretty soon. So congratulations on that.